The Carolina Hurricanes are back in action on their three-game road trip with the first game of a weekend back-to-back tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. Find out what they need to do to get the win tonight in this episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
Your Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And as always, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Thursday morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening. Thank you very much. And today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. And tonight, the Carolina Hurricanes are back in action, taking on the Arizona Coyotes. This is the first game of a back-to-back over the weekend. Tomorrow, they have the Vegas Golden Knights. But big thing coming out of yesterday, this isn't something that's going to have an effect on tonight's game, but I do want to talk about it. And that was Hurricanes goalie Freddie Andersen returning to practice yesterday with the team. And he's obviously been out since early November with a blood clotting issue. He has obviously since been cleared to skate, and he had been working with the Hurricanes goaltending coach, slowly getting there. But yesterday was the first time he had practiced with the team since early November. He's obviously traveled with them to Arizona, Vegas, and Dallas as well. But yeah, it was great to see him getting back out there, practicing with the team. This isn't something that, again, it's not going to have any effect on tonight's game. I don't see him returning to the lineup anytime soon because he has been out for so long. And I've said many times before that I want him to take as long as he needs before he comes back. I don't want him to risk coming back too early, potentially risk his health even more. Don't want that. I've seen the same sentiment online, with folks. They'd rather he just miss the whole season than potentially come back and make things worse. So obviously glad to have Freddie back practicing with the team, but ultimately don't want to rush it. If that means he doesn't play, for the rest of the season, then he doesn't. But it's a good sign. He's moving forward, moving in the right direction. Which we love to see. But getting to the game tonight, this is going to be a very interesting game. Both teams are coming off of losses. We'll get to Arizona a little bit later. Carolina obviously coming off their 4-2 loss against the Dallas Stars on Tuesday. We talked about that game. It wasn't necessarily that was a bad game. They did do some stuff right, but some poor play in the neutral zone. Dallas taking advantage of that ended up leading to Dallas getting the win. Just the mistakes that they were making, just can't do that. Arizona also coming off a loss 3-1 to Minnesota on Wednesday. So both teams coming off of losses looking to get back in the win column. And again, we'll talk about Arizona's recent struggles later. But as far as the Hurricanes go, they have a lot of storylines going into this game. Jordan Staal being the biggest one. He's obviously coming off of a 2-point game against Dallas. We talked about that goal and an assist. Also has 3 points in his last 3 games. And as of right now, as of recording at 10:50 in the morning, he has 414 points as a Hurricane, and one more point will tie Jeff O'Neill for 6th all-time on the Hurricanes Whalers points leaders list. So crazy to think about, for him with the role, the way he's been rolling as of late. I do think that is a possibility that tie could happen tonight, and if he has another game like he did against Dallas, he very well could just take sole possession of sixth all time for the Hurricanes. And actually, you know, he only needs one more point to tie that, obviously. But one more assist will pass Andrew Castells for seventh all time on the assist list in franchise history. So Jordan Stahl, could definitely continue to climb up the all-time leaders list tonight. He's obviously been a Hurricane for freaking ever. Um, so yeah, you see that tonight. You definitely want that for him. It's also Brett Pesce's 600th career game tonight. Could have already happened, but he's been sick. Obviously injuries happen, but looking for definitely that's going to be big for him. Hoping he has a really good game tonight as well. We mentioned this the other day for Jacob Slavin, is that his next point will tie Justin Falk for most by a defenseman in franchise history. That was something that was mentioned on the broadcast in the game against Dallas as well. Obviously, would love to see this one happen tonight, but we all know Jacob Slavin. He's not necessarily a points defenseman. So, that one we may sit on that for a little bit. Obviously, want him to go ahead and tie it, break it, all that stuff. Uh, you know, and continue to further cement himself as the best defenseman in franchise history. You get a record like that, it's going to be hard to argue, especially with the way he plays out on the ice as well. So, a lot of stuff going into the Hurricanes game tonight. And they are again, coming off of a loss, but it wasn't necessarily a terrible loss. It wasn't like some of the stuff we were dealing with earlier in the season, where they were just ugly. Like they know what they got to do here in this game, and I am fully confident that they will do it. But one thing that is going to be interesting tonight is what are they going to do in goal? Because we saw Pyotr Kochetkov the other night against Dallas. I said then before that game that I could see Spencer Martin getting the nod tonight in net, and then going back to Kochetkov against Vegas. I still think that is the smartest move in the Hurricanes preview that they put up this morning. That was something that was mentioned there by Walt Ruff, that you could see that tonight. Obviously, we won't know until they announce the lineup later on in the afternoon or early evening. But yeah, I think going with Spencer Martin is the right move here tonight. He hasn't played in quite some time. Last time he played was back in January. I can tell you the last date. And that was it's been 23 days since he made his Hurricanes debut. That was a 3-2 win over the Boston Bruins on January 24th. Um, so I do feel that Arizona is probably the smarter move going for Martin tonight. You obviously don't want to overwork Kochetkov. Um, so I feel Martin is the smart move tonight. Arizona has been struggling as of late. We'll dive into that in a second. But I feel that's just got to be the smart move tonight. Save Kochetkov for going up against Vegas. Vegas is uh, much better team, and you are going to want to put your best goalie possible out there. Nothing against Spencer Martin. He heck did beat the Boston Bruins in his last game, but it has been quite a while. So I feel it would be smarter to go with him tonight. But you never know. You just don't know until we know, plain and simple. But the reason why I keep saying Spencer Martin is the smarter move here is because of the way Arizona has been struggling over this last stretch of games for them. And we will dive into their struggles right after this quick break, folks. Our sponsor today is Camino Consulting. How would you like to get to know someone better in an hour than you would in a year? Understanding one better prevents small misunderstandings from becoming big ongoing fights. After providing more than 20 years of service to small and mid-sized businesses, helping management groups navigate conflict and onboarding new employees, Camino is offering a digital seminar for families and couples. Did your Valentine's gift of tickets to the game not go over as well as you'd hoped? Get the couples and family online seminar for $25 off the month of February using discount code locked on. Again, that's discount code locked on for 25% off the rest of the month at www.caminoconsulting.ca or mention locked on when reaching out for a business seminar and receive the first 5 profiles free. Now, getting into Arizona's recent struggles, they are 0-6-1 in their last 7 games. I mentioned earlier that they are coming off a loss to the Minnesota Wild 3-1 back on Wednesday. They've been outscored 16-31 since January 21st. They're only averaging little over 23 shots a game, 23.7 shots. They've allowed 38 over this stretch, which is a league high. So that's something that, really kind of plays into the Hurricanes' wheelhouse here. We all know, how the Hurricanes really like to limit the other team's chances and love to shoot the puck as well. So, you're struggling to get shots off, you're allowing a bunch of shots, and you're going against the Hurricanes. That's not a good recipe there. And I do feel that this is obviously going to be something the Hurricanes know, and they're going to totally try to take advantage of. And they'd be dumb not to. This is their bread and butter, limiting the shots and putting a bunch of shots on goal. That's just what they do. So, getting into this game tonight, it could really be a game for them to continue the momentum, get up from this little bump in the road in the loss against Dallas. I believe they're only 4 points behind New York in the Metro. They're still second. I believe it's 4 points they're back as of recording. So they're right there in the mix for the top spot in the Metro. So you get a win tonight. You're within two, and we're going down this stretch heading into what will be postseason. Obviously, we got trade deadline first. But we're going down this back half of the season. So, you have a game like this where the opponent, just feeds into your bread and butter. You really got to come away with a win in a game like this. I said, before, going into this road trip, with how good, every team, had been playing at home. Everyone had good winning percentages at home. Again, yes, Arizona has been struggling as of late, but, they still had a really good win percentage at home. And then, of course, Dallas and Vegas, being Dallas and Vegas, I didn't necessarily expect them to sweep this road trip, but, I look at this game against Arizona and how they've been struggling and what, again, they are doing and what they are allowing, that this is a game the Hurricanes absolutely should win. And they also have a very clear advantage in the special teams battle as well. So, you look at Arizona's power play ranked 14th in the NHL at 21.9%. Hurricanes is ranked number 2 at 27.5 or 27.5. Penalty kill, Arizona is ranked at 18th at 79.4. Carolina ranked at 4th at 84.3% on the penalty kill. So, you have clear advantages there. Like the Hurricanes should win this game. So, that's something that I'm really looking for the Hurricanes, to do well what they do well. That's really what I'm looking at for tonight's game. This absolutely should be a win, but it is the NHL. Anything can happen on any given night. We've seen it, countless times with every team. Gosh, what was it last year, I believe, or the year before, where like the Coyotes, were one of the last place teams in the league, and the Hurricanes were one of the top, and they shut out the Hurricanes at home for nothing. And I believe it was last year. I think it was towards the start of the season, right before, their big, road trip they always do at the start of the season, the Hurricanes, when the state fair is in town. Um, I believe it was right around there. I think it was last season, maybe the season before, I'm not sure, but it was within the past 2 seasons that that happened, and, obviously, the Hurricanes, kinda took that personally, and went out, had a good road trip. Um but yeah, you look at that. Yeah, this is a game they should win. But it very well could also be a trap game because the Hurricanes should win it. Um, and we've seen that before, them losing games they should win and winning games they should lose. But at the end of the day, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens there. But the keys to the game are gonna be pretty simple tonight, and we will dive into those right after this quick break, folks. Now, folks, it is starting to get warm out. That means we're going to have some outdoor concerts and whatnot. And if you're wanting to go to one of those, you should use Game Time to go. You shouldn't have to worry when you buy tickets for your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all these sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. I personally love using Game Time. I've said before how when me and a friend of mine, when we went to AEW Collision a while back, we used Game Time to get our tickets, and we loved being able to pick our seats and view our seats on the app. We weren't getting any obstructed views or anything like that. We knew exactly where we were going to be. And we found a spot we loved down in the lower bowl, looking straight at the ring, straight at the ramp, all of that, and we had a fantastic time. And all-in prices show you your total upfront, so you know you're getting a great deal before you check out. Buy tickets in just 2 taps. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of an event and even an hour after it starts. It is the best place to find last-minute seats, find exclusive flash deals, sponsored deals, and tickets to football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKED ON for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKED ON. That's LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Now, keys to the game tonight, folks. Again, these are going to be pretty simple. I kind of already touched on, winning the special teams battle. Again, the Hurricanes have a very clear advantage. Arizona was ranked 14th in power play, Carolina is second. Arizona ranked 18th in penalty kill, Carolina ranked fourth. They have a clear advantage there, and that is something they should absolutely do. Um, One thing in that Dallas game is, both teams, played very clean games, only getting called for one penalty. One thing I would like the Hurricanes to do tonight is, draw a few more penalties on Arizona and really take advantage of, them having, that second ranked power play and Arizona having, that 18th ranked penalty kill. Really take advantage of that mismatch. I think that's going to be something that the Hurricanes should really take advantage of when they do get that opportunity. One big thing tonight is controlling that neutral zone, tightening up play because we saw in that game against Dallas how they had some loose play and poor play in the neutral zone that ended up leading to Dallas getting that win. I'd also like them to have. Uh, I think it. No, I would. mm, Mm. I think it was more Dallas just taking advantage, and having a good hockey IQ of when they took advantage of that Hurricanes line change, and ended up getting a goal. I believe it was in the second or third period. Um, yeah, I was gonna say the Hurricanes, maybe play a little bit smarter. Again, I don't put that on them at all. That's just kind of one of the things that happens sometimes. I think that was just good hockey IQ on and situational awareness on Dallas's part, but just make sure you are aware of your situation so we don't have a repeat of that. Because it is one of the Hurricanes. They feel. they're better than, giving up a goal on a line change, But again, I think that's more Dallas just, having good situational awareness there. Another thing, as I mentioned already, take advantage of Arizona's recent struggles. Again, they are 0-6-1 in their last 7. They've been outscored 16-31 since January 21st. They've only got off 23.7 shots in that stretch, allowed 38, which is again a league high. Yeah, in that stretch, they aren't going to have goalie Connor Ingram tonight, who was solid for them in their last game against Carolina, but was hurt in that game against Minnesota. So they aren't going to have him in the lineup tonight. So that can again be something that the Hurricanes take advantage of tonight. And then another thing that I really think they are going to have to do, because it's something that Arizona is going to be aware of, is especially if they do end up going with him, is supporting Spencer Martin. Again, I fully think he is the smart move to go in between the pipes tonight, save Kochetkov for tomorrow against Vegas. I really think that's the move tonight, but we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But really go out there and support him. Again, we talked earlier about how it has been a bit since Martin has played. It's been since January 24th, 23 days. He's hasn't played a game, and it may take him a bit to settle in. Be out there ready to support him, and don't just leave him hanging out to dry. That's going to be something that's important for this team tonight. Really get out there, support him. Um, so you guys can get back in the win column, close that gap with New York in the division. That's going to be really important. And again, you can't stress enough. Take advantage of their struggles that Arizona has been having and controlling that neutral zone. Those are going to be the biggest things tonight. Control the neutral zone, support Spencer Martin, and take advantage of Arizona's recent struggles. They can do all that. I think they are going to come away with the win tonight, but ultimately we just got to wait and see what happens. And it's obviously going to be another late night game. Obviously, being out in Arizona, the game tonight is at 9 p.m. Eastern. So again, Canes after dark, folks. Hope you are ready for that. Hope you got your coffee ready to go. And obviously, the game against Vegas gonna be a late one tonight or tomorrow, excuse me. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun game for sure. I always enjoy watching the games from Mullet Arena. It's a very small, intimate venue. I like it. I know some folks don't, but I enjoy watching games from Mullet Arena. So I'm looking forward to this game. I know you guys are as well. Tell me what you think about Mullet Arena. Tell me what you think about Freddie Andersen returning to practice with the team and all the other stuff going on with the Carolina Hurricanes on social media at LO_Hurricanes. Myself at Jared Ellis _96, and leave a comment down on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe there as well. So, as always, folks, thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Thursday morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening. Thank you very much. And as always, folks, let's go Canes.